All right, so we are actually going to start laying down today. So if you want to find that nice cozy resting position, and I'll give a little bit of a brief introduction since it's been a little bit since we've taken this class together. So lay down, or you can stay seated while I talk. But this is meditation flow, so a little bit different than your traditional vinyasa yoga class. So rather than me kind of demoing every posture every step of the way, instead it's going to be broken out into 3 parts, each of which we'll do a tiny flow together, and then you'll have the option to either redo that flow 1 or 2 times, or to do something totally different that may feel good in your body this evening. So I absolutely love teaching this class because it really allows you as the student some time to tune in to that intuitive space within and just to flow in ways that feel good for you, whether or not the real yoga postures or what, but our body knows what feels best for us. So we'll be moving accordingly with the breath, and I'll be here throughout to guide where to place the mind even as you're flowing by yourself. So this is super meditative, allows you to connect with your inner self. And for this class and any further classes, I'd love to implore you to set up your own sacred space. So whether that means turning down the lights, lighting a candle, making a sacred altar, whatever makes your space feel sacred and safe, I'd love for you to maybe begin to incorporate that into this class as well. I personally have my meditation singing bowl. I light some sage, so just whatever helps you totally zone out. That's what we love to do for this class. So, long intro, but we're gonna start laying down. So if you haven't laid down already, let's find that cozy resting position on the mats, and we're gonna start with a nice ooey gooey meditation. So, however you lay down on your mat, find what just feels good in your body. It doesn't have to be completely flat on the ground. You can have legs extended or bent, hands placed on the body anywhere. Find what feels good right now. And once you find that gentle resting posture, allow your eyes to effortlessly draw closed. We'll take a couple of moments to truly allow ourselves to arrive here and now. Take a moment to release and let go of the day or even the week you've already had so far. Let it all just drift away from you. And do the same with anything that's left to do this evening or for the rest of the week. Imagine it all just going away into the abyss. We are here and now. There's nothing you have to do but to just be in your body, connecting with yourself and feeding your soul. Allow a wave of relaxation to wash over your body, sweeping you from head to toe, relaxing every bone, muscle, fiber, and cell of your being as it passes, softening the face and jaw, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, softening the front and the back of the torso, relaxing the hips, the legs, and the feet. Allow your body to melt down towards the ground beneath you. Surrender the holding of your weight to the support of the ground. You no longer have to hold yourself, support yourself. The ground, Mother Nature, the earth is here to do that for you. Let yourself be held. And as you let your body be held, let the mind be held as well. All the troubles, the stresses, the shoulds, the have-tos, let it all go. Surrender it all to the bigger picture, knowing that right now, you are perfect, and everything in your life is exactly how it should be, whether you fully understand that or not. Begin to connect with your breathing. Allow yourself to feel every inhale and exhale. Notice how it feels to be breathing in your body right now. Where do you most prominently feel the breath in your body? Is it in the nostrils, the throat, the chest, the belly, maybe somewhere else? Connect with the beautiful feeling of the breath and just let yourself feel it fully for a couple rounds of breath, letting everything else go. And as you rest fully here, allowing yourself, your mind, to play the witness role, to simply observe the feeling of the breath, take a couple more breaths and decide if for the beginning of class or for the next couple moments you wish to stay here, just being with your breath on your mat, or if you'd like to begin to flow. If at any point during class you want to come back to this position, or even if you want to stay here, just being with your breath, please know that tonight's practice is for you. There's nothing else you have to do but to listen to your body and be here with yourself and flow accordingly. Sometimes what the body needs most is just rest. If you'd like to begin to flow, follow your next inhale to reach the hands up overhead, stretching your body long. So hands reach towards the back of the room, feet reach towards the front. Give yourself a nice full body stretch. On an exhale, gently hug the knees in towards you as you wrap your arms around the legs. Maybe the eyes draw open, maybe they stay shut. If it feels good, you can even add a gentle rock side to side, just observing the state of your body right now. Notice how your hips feel, how the legs feel. Tune into the back body, the shoulders and the neck. Just observe your body right now. We are going to start our first flow laying here on our backs. So if you'd like to proceed with me, whenever your next exhale arises, gently set your feet down on the ground, much wider than hips distance. So set them out pretty wide. Hands can be on the belly, they can be by your sides, maybe cactus arms or even in a T shape. So just find what feels natural for you. We're going to begin with swaying the legs in a meditative flow. Take a big inhale, and on your exhale, allow the knees to drop over toward the left-hand side. Just let them fall wherever they fall in space. On the inhale, follow the knees to bring them up to center, and on the exhale, slowly drop them on over to the right-hand side. Follow the pace of your own breath. Inhale towards center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. When you reach the right-hand side, pause here. We'll take a couple of big breaths here. Your choice. If it feels like too much on your left knee, you can scooch the left knee forward so maybe it rests a little bit higher, or you can even lift the legs up a bit. So find where this feels good in your body. Maybe you send the chin towards the left-hand side. Notice what you feel. Relax the jaw. Keep your mind in the body. Feel your breath. One more big round of breath. And we'll begin to sway again. So when your next inhale arises, knees come up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale up, and then this time we'll hold on the left. So exhale to the left, pause. Couple big breaths here. If it feels good, you can look over your right shoulder, adding a little bit of a neck stretch. Breathe deeply. Relax the jaw and keep your awareness in your body. There's no better place to be than with yourself, tuning inwards towards the spirit of your being. Let your mind go there through the feeling of the breath. Take a couple more big breaths, feeling the inhales and exhales arrive and exit from the body. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders, let yourself just melt into the shape. One more full round of breath here. And when your next inhale arises, gently bring the knees back up to center. Exhale and pause once they get there. On your next inhale, step your feet in a little bit so they're hips distance. Pause here, exhale. We're going to move into a gentle half happy baby pose. So when your next inhale arises, hug the right knee in towards you. This might be as far as you go today, and that's totally fine. If you want to explore going a little bit deeper on your next inhale, you'll gently lift that right foot up. Maybe you grab onto the lower leg. Maybe you grab onto the outside of that right hip. So you were making that happy baby shape on the right hand side. Left side's going to feel and stay totally down on the ground. So pause here, notice how this feels for you. Breathe into the right hip, flex the right foot. Couple more big breaths. If you want to take this deeper on this side, you're going to straighten that left leg down to the mat and pull the toes back towards you, pressing the heel towards the front of the room. One more big breath, relax your jaw. If your left leg is straight, inhale, step it in. On the exhale, set your right foot back down on the mat. Perfect. Same thing other side. So inhale now, hug the left knee in towards you. Take a breath or two. Notice how you're feeling. If you want to move on to that half happy baby shape, flex the left foot. Maybe you hold on to the back of the thigh, the lower leg, or grasp around the outside of that left foot. Keep that right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. Flex the right foot. Breathe here, and again, your choice. If you straighten that right leg, pressing the heel forward, curling toes to shin. Breathe deeply here. Relax your left arm. Keep pressing that right hip down to the mat. Notice what you feel here. Keep your mind in the body. Breathe deeply. Let's take about 2 more full rounds of breath here, breathing at your own pace. And whenever your next inhale arises, if your right leg is straight, step it in towards you, place the foot on the ground. Exhale, left foot places down. Final posture for our flow is reclined Baddha Konasana. So take a big inhale. On your exhale, knees go out towards the sides, feet touch. We're making butterfly legs. And pause here. So maybe you stay where you are, hands can rest on the belly, on the inner thighs, or down by the sides. If this feels like too much, you can just feel free to straighten your legs out or move to any other shape that feels good for you. Maybe those eyes gently draw closed. You can even rock the head side to side, adding a little bit of a neck stretch. Feel free to wiggle and move in any of these shapes. Just give your body the release it needs. Fully soften into and relax the inner thighs. Let the knees just melt down towards the mat. Take a couple more big breaths here. Let yourself be in your body. Take about one more big round of breath. Relax the jaw. And only when you feel ready to come out of the shape, gently bring your hands to the outsides of the thighs and just close the legs with the hands, stepping the feet back on the ground. So that's our first flow. I'll recap for you. You feel free to just listen to my voice or tune out if you want to. But if you want to repeat the postures, we started in Apanasana, hugging the knees in towards the chest. We took a couple rocks side to side. Then we set the feet down on the mat and moved through the flowing twist. So we inhaled to lift the knees, exhaled to lowered. We did a couple sways and then paused for a handful of breaths on each side. From there, we stepped the feet in and moved to happy baby pose on each side. So one foot was on the ground, other was in the happy baby shape, and then we switched sides. We ended in Baddha Konasana legs. So again, I'm going to sit up as a recap for you. So it was Apanasana, hugging the knees in, swaying twist. Then we did half happy baby and Baddha Konasana. So the next couple moments are going to be for you. Feel free to repeat that flow, maybe only a couple of postures for it. Maybe you do the full thing or none of it. Listen to your body. Feel free to just rest if you want to. I'll be sitting here guiding you for the mind. But add any movement you want, and I'll let you know when it's time to potentially move on to the next flow. So take your time, find what feels good, and you can do anything you want. Please just listen to your body. Wherever you decide to go, stay with the breath. Keep your movement synchronized to the inhales and the exhales. Truly coordinate mind and body, creating that union within. No matter where you are, take a moment and notice where your mind is at right now. If I were to ask you the question, what are you thinking about right now? What would your answer be? Is your mind fully on feeling every inhale and exhale? Is the mind getting lost in thought, being taken away from here and now? There is no right or wrong, good or bad. There's just observing and noticing where the mind is. If you're off in thought, notice where the mind goes. What do you tend to think about? How does whatever you're thinking about make you feel? Maybe you stay there. Maybe you decide to come back to here and now. We come back to the present moment by connecting with a present moment activity, such as the breath or a current feeling in the body. If you'd like to navigate back to here and now, connect back with the feeling of every inhale. Maybe you start in the nostrils and work your way deeper within the body. Maybe you feel into the strongest sensation you receive in the posture you're in. Let your mind just drop to whatever you're feeling in your body and be there with it. Give your mind some sort of anchor here and now within the body, so when you begin to think, you can notice it. Every time you notice, you become aware, you awaken, and you can decide whether you want to stay where you're at or come back to here and now, on your mat, in your body, and with yourself. And as we practice at home, in our safe space, it's inevitable that noises and sounds and external distractions will arise. Whenever this happens, notice what happens within when some sort of stimulus comes up. Notice if it brings frustration, worry, anxiety. Maybe it doesn't bring up anything. Allow external stimuli to cause you to go deeper within yourself. The world is loud, it's noisy. It is quite infrequently that we get complete silence in our lives. When we're able to practice with external distraction, it strengthens ourselves and our practice for when we truly go out into the world, into an environment with lots of noise and distraction and movement. So invite in noise, distraction, family, and other rooms. Keep finding your way back to your inhales and exhales, to feeling the full extent of your being and awareness right now. Wherever you're at, notice how you can soften even further into whatever shape you're in right now. How can you surrender your body, your mind? How can you soften the edges of your being? Maybe you relax toes and fingers, the jaw, the eyes, anything that might not be necessary to hold whatever shape you're in. Soften the mind, give way to those quote-unquote pressing matters within. All that's happening is here and now. Let yourself just be with the present moment. If you'd like to possibly move on to our next flow or set of postures, we'll begin to meet up for that next phase. However, if you're still flowing or if there's any other shapes that you'd like to take, please feel free to do so. We will eventually meet up seated with the legs extended out in front of us. But again, take your time. I'll be here for a couple moments waiting, so this is just a gentle little notion to see if you'd like to begin to meet up. Again, take your time. And again, if you want to just keep flowing on your mat or resting wherever you're at, there is no need to meet up with me. Tonight's for you. If you are in that seated posture, legs are straight out in front of you, knees pressed down and toes curl back towards you so the legs are working. Before we fold, close the eyes and just take a couple big breaths. Check in, notice how you're feeling so far. When you're ready, gently draw the eyes open. Inhale to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to start this flow with a nice forward fold. So on your exhale, walk the hands down alongside the legs. Pause here. If this feels like a deep enough stretch, you're going to stay right where you're at. If you want to move a little bit further, follow an inhale to pull the heart forward, really lengthen the back body. And if you can keep this length on an exhale, maybe you lower the elbows down to the mat. Find where this works for you. If you're feeling a deep stretch on the backs of the legs and the low back, you're exactly where you need to be. If you start to feel anything mid-back to shoulders and it feels like you're reaching the toes, you've gone a little bit too far. So we're really trying to shine the heart forward and bring the rib cage toward the thighs rather than fingertips to toes. Take a couple big breaths here. Keep pressing the knees down and pulling the toes back towards you. Maybe you give yourself a little shimmy of the shoulders, wiggle of the jaw. Let yourself melt into this shape. Breathe through the back body. Can you feel the inhales expand the back? The exhales soften your body down. Beautiful. Let's take one more big round of breath. You're doing a beautiful job. On your next inhale, slowly walk the hands back up towards you until you're all the way up to seated, and exhale once you get to the top. On your next inhale, gently bring the left foot in towards you, Janu Sirsasana. So outside of that left foot's going to be in alignment with the inside of the right thigh. Sit up super tall, slightly pivot so the center of your chest points towards the big toe. And on an exhale, same concept, walk the hands down the leg. Pause, inhale, can you shine the heart forward more, reaching the chest forward? On your exhale, maybe you fold a little deeper. Please keep the shoulders and arms super relaxed. Again, we're not reaching, we're folding. Keep pressing that right knee down, pull the toes towards you. Left knee hangs in space. If it feels like too much with the left knee and it's kind of straining a bit, you can always put padding, a pillow, block, or something under that left knee. Let's take a couple more big breaths here. Notice what you feel. Again, keep those shoulders super, super soft and find your way back to the breath. One more full round of breath here. And when your next inhale arises, slowly make your way back up to seated. On the exhale, place the left foot down on the mat so the knee's going to be pointing up towards the ceiling. Pause here. On your next inhale, sit up super tall. We're twisting now, so exhale, right hand comes around that left leg, left hand sits behind you like a kickstand. On your next inhale, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and then on the exhale, maybe you begin to look over your back shoulder. So find where this works in your body. Breathe deeply. Keep pressing that right knee down and pulling the right toes back towards you. So we're really working that right leg. Shoulders rest down the back body as the heads of the shoulders pull in opposite directions, expanding the chest and the collarbones. Notice what your breath is doing right now. Can you deepen the breath a bit? Can you relax your lower belly slightly? One more big breath here. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, unwind, straighten that left leg out in front of you. We're going to do that same little flow on the other side. So right foot comes in, outside edge of the foot in alignment with the inside edge of the thigh. Janu Shirshasana. On your exhale, walk your hands down towards the foot. Inhale, pull the heart forward, lift up slightly, lengthen the back body. And on your exhale, maybe you lower a little bit deeper. Again, bring your awareness to your body. Notice where you feel this stretch. If you feel like you're holding a lot of tension anywhere or you're just going a little bit past your limit, please come up a little bit. We're here to meet our bodies where we're at today. When we try to strain or push forward, maybe before our body's ready, that's when injury happens. So meet yourself where you're at today. It's that showing up over and over again that opens the body up, that strengthens the body. It's time that reveals the inner strength and peace within rather than pushing through one session. Let's take one more big breath here. Beautiful. Inhale, come on up. Moving towards the twist. Exhale, right foot sets on the ground, knee points up towards the ceiling. Inhale, wrap the left arm around the leg, right hand sets behind you like a kickstand. Inhale, sit up as tall as you can, and then exhale, begin to look behind you. Couple big breaths here. Keep pressing that left knee down, toes pull back towards you. Breathe deeply. If it feels like you're leaning back a lot into that back hand and your shoulders are shifted towards the back of your mat, come on up a bit. We want to keep the spine nice and tall, every vertebra stacked one on top of another, like almost a pole that you're pivoting your body around. 2 more big breaths here. Breathe through this twist. Soften the belly. Pull the shoulders in opposite directions. 1 more big breath. On your next inhale, look forward, and exhale, unwind, straighten that right leg out in front of you. For our last posture, we have 2 options. It can be a seated, restorative version of child's pose, where you'll step the feet in towards you, wrap your arms around the legs, and then just allow your head to drape down. Or you can make your way into child's pose, swinging the legs behind you, making your way to hands and knees, big toes touch, knees spread wide, sinking the hips back to the heels and allowing the head to drape down to the mat. So play around with those 2 versions. Find what feels good for you tonight. And we'll pause there for our last couple breaths in the final posture of this flow. Breathe deeply. If you're in child's pose, on hands and knees, maybe you even wiggle the hips side to side or allow the head to roll side to side, massaging the third eye, the forehead. As you are here, use this as a reset posture. So find your way back to the breath. Check in. Feel the inhales and exhales along the back body. Surrender your mind to the body. Just let everything go. And as you're in child's pose, I will recap for you briefly before we move on. Again, your choice if you want to continue on with that flow or just feel into your body for the rest of the postures. For this flow, we started in a forward fold, held here for a handful of breaths. We then came on up and moved through our twisting flow. So we started with Janu Shirsasana on each side, and then we made our way into the twist, Marichasana. Then we did the same thing on the other side, Janu to the twist. And then we completed the flow in child's pose. So that was either the restorative version of the posture or swinging the legs behind, hands and knees, and sunk the hips on back. So again, it was forward fold, the twist, or Janu to the twist on each side, and then child's pose. So your choice if you want to continue on with that or do anything else that serves your body, even if that's just laying on the mat, following your breath. So take again the next couple moments for yourself. Do all, none, or some of that flow, and we'll meet back up for the final flow of class. Take your time and let yourself just be in your body. Take a moment yet again to check in. Notice where you're at right now. Are you mentally here in the room that you are in, on your mat and in your body? Or has your mind taken you off of your mat, out of your body, out of this room or even space and time? The mind thinks, and that's its job. We're not here to stop thought. We are here to be with it, to notice it, to observe and get to know ourselves better. Even notice your tendencies to want to maybe repeat the flow, do the postures exactly as they're supposed to be, or do you allow yourself to surrender to flowing organically if that's what comes up for you? To maybe adjusting the postures to find what feels good in your body. Just observe, begin to question what you do and why you do it. Notice how you feel emotionally as you flow. And again, at the end of the day, when you're ready to come back to the fullness of the present moment, connect with the breath. Feel how the inhales and exhales manifest in your body. Are they shallow? Are they deep? Are they quick? Are they slow? Is the breath even between inhales and exhales, or is one longer or shorter than the other? Let your mind just submerge into the intricacies of here and now. Let everything else go, for that is maybe yet to come. Let yourself be here and now. Again, notice where your mind is at. Notice if it's being taken away by external and or internal stimuli or distractions. Notice where you're at, what your mind is thinking about. Whenever you're ready to come back in here and now, feel your breath. Feel your body in whatever posture you're in. What you feel right now in your body is the most real thing that you can connect to. Let yourself be with it. Give yourself permission to be here and now. Allow yourself to rest in the goodness of your practice. So many times I have students come to me and ask how they can get their mind from stopping to think, how to relax into all of the racing thoughts and just be peaceful. And it makes me interested and intrigued because there's a flaw in the understanding of what's going on in not only anyone else in the room, but also within themselves. The misunderstanding is that A, everybody else has a blank mind, and B, we're supposed to stop thinking. Our goal is not to stop thought. We're supposed to be here with it, to notice those networks in the minds, the association, and where the mind goes when it's left to its own vices. Because it's once we become aware, we can decide whether the way that we view the world, the lens that we look through within the mind, serves our highest purpose and self and our truest selves. So rather than approaching your practice, approaching this flow with the intention to silence the mind and zone out, let yourself zone in. Let yourself be with yourself and love yourself for exactly where you're at and what you're thinking about today. For that is what helps us to grow and to find that quote-unquote relaxation. The definition of relaxation from my teacher who passed on to me for meditation is not to zone out and to retreat out of this world. Instead, it's learning how to be with what is, to soften to this very moment. That's relaxation. So how can you soften to this very moment right now? How can you be with what is? How can you find love for exactly where you're at today, mind, body, soul, and life? Take a couple moments, maybe reflect on that before we move to our final flow of class. If you would like to proceed to our final flow, Again, take all the time you need. We will eventually meet up lying on our bellies. Again, take a couple more moments for yourself if you want to finish up a pose, do another side, or just take a couple more postures. When you're ready, we'll meet up lying on our bellies and just pausing there for a couple moments. And once you make your way towards your belly, maybe you stack the palms one on top of another and allow your forehead to rest on the hands. Again, if you want to stay flowing or resting, doing whatever you're doing right now, there is absolutely no need to move on with me. This is all just a suggestion. Maybe you rock the hips side to side or just rest still. Check in and notice where you're at. Are there any themes to your practice this evening? Any recurring thoughts, things on your mind, external or internal distractions coming up? Again, just notice, become aware, let go of any judgment associated with it. We're going to proceed with a couple gentle back bends. When your next inhale arises, gently lift the head up off the hands and place the hands under the shoulders by your sides. Elbows will squeeze in towards the midline and we'll flow through a couple low cobras. On your next inhale, can you gently lift the heart up off the ground, toes press into the mat, and try to wiggle the fingertips. So we're using the back to lift us rather than the hands. Exhale, lower, set the forehead down on the ground. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, lift up, shine the heart forward. Exhale, forehead to ground. 1 more. Inhale, lift up, squeeze the low back. Exhale, lower. We're going to hold this next one. So inhale, come on up. Pause once you're lifted and begin to breathe deeply. Again, elbows keep squeezing by the sides. Maybe you hover the hands up off the ground. Tops of the toes press into the mat. Knees lift up as the pelvis presses down. 2 more big breaths. Awesome. 1 more full round of breath. On your exhale, slowly lower yourself back down. And again, maybe you rest the palms and set a cheek down on the little pillow of your hands. We'll pause for a couple moments and then move on to our next version of the back bend. All right, when your next inhale arises, lift your head up off the hands, and this time the hands are going to come by the sides, thumbs face down, pinkies up towards the ceiling. Feet and legs will stay on the ground. Exhale. On your next inhale, lift the heart up, pelvis presses down, fingers shoot back. Exhale, lower, forehead sets down. Inhale to rise, follow the pace of your own breath. Exhale, lower. 1 more, then we'll hold. Inhale, lift on up, squeeze the back body. Exhale, lower. Let's hold. Inhale, peel on up, pause. Couple big breaths here. Breathe deeply. Fingers shoot towards the back wall. Kneecaps lift towards the pelvis. Hips press down. 1 more big breath. Can you lift up any higher? And exhale, slowly lower. Stack the palms. Rest the opposite cheek down on your hands. Breathe deeply. Bring your awareness to the back body. Notice how it's feeling so far. We're going to do 1 more variation, and that will be our final posture for this flow. Let's take 1 more full round of breath. And when you're ready, follow an inhale to lift the head. Exhale, this time we're going to clasp the hands right on the low back, so interlace the fingers. Pause here. On your next inhale, lift the hands up off the low back, press the palms, and then reach the hands back behind you, chest lifts. Feet still stay down. Exhale, lower. Inhale, peel on up. Exhale, down. One more, then we'll hold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Let's hold this round. Inhale, peel on up. Pause once you're lifted. Couple big breaths here. Keep pressing the tops of the toes down into the mat. Couple more full breaths. Squeeze the back body. Lift those hands up away from the ground towards the back of the room. One more big breath. You got it. On the exhale, slowly lower on down. Rest down to the ground. Pause here again. Maybe you stack one palm over another. And then from here, maybe you wiggle the hips side to side. Rest the low back. Feet can even lift. And maybe you allow the feet to drop side to side, windshield wipering the legs. Breathe deeply, just allowing the low back to settle. And that's our final flow of class. So your choice if you want to repeat that. If you do, we started with low cobra. We lifted and lowered 3 times, then held. From there, the hands came by the sides, doing the same thing. Finally, we clasped the hands, lifted and lowered 3 times, and then held. So your choice if you want to move on with that. If you do, I would like you to stay on the belly. Not until you're done with the back bends will you move on to some sort of forward fold or child's pose to relieve the back body. So let yourself complete all your back bends, and then after you're done, find a child's pose or forward fold, and then anything else that feels good. So again, your choice if you want to move on with the back bends for the final flow of class, and then we'll meet up for closing in Shavasana. So take your time, find what feels good. And again, I'll be here to cue the breath, the mind, the body for you. Take the couple moments for yourself and find what feels good. Really try to synchronize your breath with your movements throughout this flow. So really inhaling and exhaling and synchronizing every movement consciously with the breath. Connect the mind to the body and let yourself just be here and now with yourself. Wherever you're at, notice how you can soften your body even further. So maybe that means relaxing the jaw and the facial expression. That means softening the neck or shoulders. Just observe your body. How can you soften even more within the body, within the mind? Let yourself soften to this very moment, here and now. Again, notice where your mind is at. Notice and try to pinpoint what you're thinking about right now. And if and when you want to come back to here and now, find your way to feeling the breath, to feeling the strongest sensation in your body, and let your mind rest there. Whenever you do complete your back bends, if you haven't already, find your way either to a nice child's pose or a forward fold. Again, take your time. If you're doing your own flow and your own thing, by all means, feel free to disregard anything I'm saying. I'm totally fine with that. Just find where you want to be tonight. That's all that matters. If you are in some sort of forward fold or child's pose, send your inhales all the way to the low back. Exhale from the low back as well, finding just a nice release. And only when you're ready to transition, we'll eventually meet laying down on the back. So again, take your time. If there's anything else you want to do, or if you're resting and you just want to lay where you're at, feel free to do so. Once and if you ever get to your back body, give yourself a nice hug, Apanasana, knees to chest pose, wrapping your arms around the legs and gently rock side to side. As you rock side to side, gently press the low back into the mat, giving yourself a gentle low back massage. Feel the entirety of your body. Let yourself just be here and now. And we'll eventually slow down the rocks and we'll find our way to a single-legged twist. So keep the right knee hugging in towards you, straighten the left leg down to the mat. Big inhale, and on your exhale, right knee comes across the body to the left-hand side. Right hand comes out like a T shape. Maybe the left hand does as well, or maybe you set the left hand on the outside of the right leg. You can send the gaze over the right hand if that feels good for you. Pause here for a couple of big breaths. If you want to draw the eyes closed, feel free to do so. Breathe to the right side body and notice if your right shoulder or arm is lifting up off the ground at all. If it is, try to press the shoulder blade down, come out of the twist a bit. Let's take about 2 more full rounds of breath here. 1 more big breath. On your next inhale, gently bring that right knee back to center. Exhale and straighten the right leg down to the ground. We'll do the same thing other side, so left knee hugs in, take a breath or 2. On an exhale, drop the left knee across the body to the left hand or the right hand side. The left hand extends out. Maybe the right hand rests on the right thigh, or maybe it extends out as well, whatever feels good. And you can possibly send your gaze over the left hand as well. Pause here for a couple big breaths. Allow yourself to physically, mentally, emotionally wind down. Press the left shoulder blade down towards the ground, keeping the shoulders and the arms flush with the mat beneath you. Relax the jaw, breathe the left side body. 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath. Beautiful job. Inhale, left knee comes back up to center. Exhale, straighten it down to the mat. If you are ready for Shavasana, feel free to stay exactly where you're at, bringing the hands by the sides and legs extended. If there's any last postures, stretches, shapes, poses you'd like to take, maybe a happy baby, shoulder stand, anything that feels good for you, even if you need to get up and move around, take the next couple moments for yourself, and we will eventually meet up in Shavasana. You can even go there right now, so just find what works in your body. If you're still flowing, please feel free to continue to move however you need to and only rest when you're ready. If you've made your way towards Shavasana, take a moment and follow an inhale to puff up the chest and inch the shoulders down the back body, and then set the chest, the shoulders back down. Gently draw the eyes closed if you haven't already. And begin to invite into your body, your being, a gentle, soft, and relaxed nature to your mind, to your body, to the space all around and within you. Begin to soften your body even further, starting by relaxing the crown of your head. Soften your forehead, your eyebrows, and your eyes. Relax the temples, the cheekbones, and the jaw. Soften your lips and your teeth. Gently float the tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. Soften your ears, the back of your head, and the scalp. Relax the back of your neck, the sides, and the front. Allow the throat to open. Relax the shoulders towards the ground beneath you. Soften the upper arms and the elbows. Relax the lower arms and the wrists. Allow the palms to soften and the back of the hands. Every finger gets a little bit lighter. Relax your chest. Soften the rib cage and relax the belly. Imagine melting every vertebra down towards the ground beneath you as the back muscles relax and soften. Relax your hips, the glutes, and the pelvic area as you soften the upper legs. Relax the knees. Soften the lower legs. Relax the ankles. Relax the tops of your feet, the bottom of the feet, as every toe gets a little bit softer. Notice if you're holding on anywhere else in your body, and just let go. Imagine every muscle fiber, bone, cell of your being getting more spacious, getting lighter and relaxing. Allow this inner state of peace, ease, and relaxation to translate to your mind. Relax the mind as though it's a muscle itself. Soften it, relax it, let it melt away. For the next couple of moments, let yourself just be in this totally relaxed state. Continue to keep surrendering and letting go. Letting yourself just soak in the present moment and the energy within and all around you. Gently begin to invite the awareness back in towards your body. Maybe you begin to introduce small wiggles to the toes and the fingers, the wrists and the ankles. And only when you feel ready, gently roll over to either side, pausing to rest in a fetal position. Again, take your time, only moving when you're ready. And again, when you feel ready to transition, gently begin to press yourself all the way up to seated, keeping the eyes softly closed as you move. Again, take all the time you need. We'll eventually meet up with the eyes closed and palms touching at heart center. Take a couple of moments to consciously observe how you feel in your body. Bring your awareness to your mind, your head space, and just observe. Notice how it feels. Bring your awareness to your body. And again, notice how it feels. Observe the qualities of your body right now. And eventually tune into your emotional well-being. Notice what emotion you feel right in this moment. Just notice, observe, and let it be. Gently give yourself a smile and really thank yourself for showing up here today, for dedicating your time to cultivating a beautiful state within and all around you. And thank you so very much for joining me and everybody else who attended this evening. The light in me truly honors the light in you. Namaste.